Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the civil, perfect friendships among the United States. All right, we're gonna go to the consideration of agenda first.
Madam President, I move to approve today's agenda.
I'll second.
There has been motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Madam President, I recommend that items 3.7 and 3.8 move up to under 2.2, I'm sorry, 2.1 presentation by Gipple, so that he can go ahead and do his bond presentation then, and we can collect all of the signatures necessary.
We remove those after, right after 2.1.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll motion to move 3.7 and 3.8. 3.1, please.
I'll second.
There's been motion and a second to move 3.7 and 3.8 to the 2.1. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, first up, we have presentation by Steve Poole. With today. Bonita?
Thank you, Madam President, Superintendent Montoya, and members on the board. I'm Nick from Steeple Public Finance. We serve as the district's municipal bond advisor. So we're here to talk about selling the remaining authorization from the district's 2023 general election. Like how the middle school update is after my presentation, because this is the remaining funding. That's the district's contribution towards the PSCOC match for the middle school project. After the bond sale today or this summer, you guys will have no more remaining bond authorization. That's something I'll touch on a little bit later in the presentation. I don't necessarily need to go through all of the slides, but there are a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Page 3 looks at the property values, which is the assessed valuation here in the community. The property values are how school district pledges to repay the general obligation bonds. That box in the lower left-hand corner, you can see the property values have gone up steadily the last 5 or 7 years. An increase in the district's property value helps you all either afford a bigger bond election the next time projects come up because they're not getting any cheaper, or it allows the slight lowering of the tax rate if that was what was needed. But school districts are allowed to bond up to 6% of the total valuation. In the top right-hand corner, 6% of your valuation gives you a bonding capacity of about $7.7 million. And then you have $5 million outstanding in debt. So you have about a $2.6 million general obligation bond capacity right now. So we're talking about selling $1.2 million of that remaining $2.6 million. And then down in the bottom, you can see the bond capacity slowly goes up the next couple of years as your debt's repaid. Right now, the current tax rate and property values support about a $1 million repayment structure for you all. So you are able to repay back the debt in a pretty quick fashion, I would say. So that does give you the opportunity, if more projects arise, to consider another bond election in 2027. I met with Superintendent Montoya last week at the school law conference, and she mentioned there are other projects after the middle school. So if that is something that's on your radar, maybe now is the time to start those conversations as a board. School districts right now are allowed to go to elections on odd years, which would be November of 2027. As a board, you would need to consider taking action about a year from now, next summer. The amount you'd be able to bond without a tax increase is about $5 million this time instead of $4 million because of that increase in property valuation. So over the next year or so, we'd ask you all to consider what projects are needed, if any, and then keep us in the loop if that's something you wanted to consider. Because again, you'll want to get documents into the clerk by about June of next year. Next couple pages, just look at the current tax rates that are here at the district. Right now, you have total tax rate of $10.90 for the residential value. As part of the waiver process with PSCOC, you've all committed to maintaining a tax rate above $10 for at least a 4-year period. I don't exactly know when they've started their clock because of some of the delays getting construction started. So it's probably safe to assume you need at least 3 more years of that mill levy where it's at. And then again, having the mill levy at that $10.90 mark gives you that ability to pay back about $1 million a year, so you can repay the debt in a quicker fashion, which does help the public and the residents save on their overall interest costs. Next couple pages, just look at those bonds that are outstanding right now. Those are more so we know what payments are due and when. Page 7 does show the current debt and how we have a drop off in the tax rates occurring in, or the outstanding debt occurring in 2027. That's how we're able to issue the bond today without having a tax increase. If we sell bonds today, your first payment is in 27 when that drop off starts to occur. So you would be able to issue the remaining $1.2 million and maintain that current tax rate. The next page on page 8 does look at our plan to actually issue the $1.2 million. After talking with superintendent, our recommendation was to sell the bonds to the New Mexico Finance Authority. That's who you have all historically issued the bonds through. The New Mexico Finance Authority has a couple benefits. There's a slightly lower cost of issuance because you don't need to go out and get a bond rating and some of the extra legal costs that are associated with a public market sale. And then the NMFA traditionally offers what they call disadvantage funding, which is a portion of your interest rates between 0 and 2%. So it does drive down that overall borrowing cost and help save you guys money. So you have a slightly larger project fund. Only thing on this chart, I know there's a lot of numbers. The far right-hand column looks at the tax rates. You'll see that selling the bonds today maintains that tax rate about $10.90. And then you do have that capacity to issue bonds again if the district chooses to go forward with an election in 2027 without that tax increase. Just some proof if anybody wanted to see the numbers there with it. And then last page is number 9 that looked at the actual plan to maintain the tax rate. The dark blue is all of the existing debt. Purple is the new debt, and you can see we maintain the current tax rate. Goes up slightly, the bar chart, because you're able to afford that higher annual payment. And then if the board does approve the bond sale today, we did submit an application to the Finance Authority last week. It's a non-binding application because they have a 7-week lead up time. So the NMFA would consider your application at the end of July, and then we would be able to close on the bonds at the beginning of September. That next page, excuse me, does actually detail out a couple more of the steps. But we would be able to set the interest rates in early August and then at the beginning of September to keep you on track with funding your portion of the local match for PSCOC. I'll pause and see if you have any questions. There are 2 items on the agenda that the board's being asked to consider tonight. The first one is basically setting the terms for the bond sale, which are going to the New Mexico Finance Authority, that the district cannot issue more than the $1.2 million remaining. It does have maybe what I call worst case parameters. I think it has a 10% interest rate in there. We don't expect the 10% interest rate. It's just so we don't have to come back to the board for approval again. That's the statutory maximum. Right now for public school districts, your borrowing rate's probably in the 3.5% range. So it is still a good time to be issuing debt and funding these projects for a school district. And then the second item is the actual approval to the New Mexico Finance Authority to submit that application and notice to the Public Education Department that you're going to be issuing bonds, so they're related to each other, but two different actions are related.
I want you.
I do. You guys cover it?
I just wanted to make sure I think I'm good though. A lot of legal jargon.
Not responsible for the number of pages and signatures that I need. All of you tonight, I apologize in advance.
Well, if you guys have
Mike
any
Short.
questions, then, Madam President, I'd like to move to approve the resolution authorizing and approving submission of a completed application for financial assistance and project approval to the New Mexico Finance Authority.
There has been a motion and second for approval of the resolution authorizing and approving submission of the completed application for financial assistance and project approval to the Metro. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Consideration of and approval of resolution authorizing sale of school bonds, establishing procedures for the sale and delivery of the bonds, authorizing and approving submission of completed application for financial assistance and project approval to the New Mexico Finance Authority, and authorizing other matters related to the issuance of the bond.
Questions?
No.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mayor Kirk, in a motion and second, consideration of and approval of the resolution authorizing sale of school bonds, establishing procedures for the delivery of the bonds, authorizing and approving submission of completed application for financial assistance and project approval to the New Mexico Finance Authority, and authorizing other matters related to the issuance of the bond. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, always a pleasure, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll back up to 2.2, presentation by Decker and Barbara Stam for the new middle school company.
You can help me with the page turn, because with my luck, I'll probably turn off the TV. Yeah, good. Ready?
Yeah.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Montoya, staff and community members. My name is Juan Gallegos, I'm with Decker, and joining me this evening is Mr. Cody Clifton with Bradbury Stam Construction. Together, our teams have been working closely with Tula Rosa Municipal Schools and PSFA to deliver the new Tula Rosa Middle School replacement project. On behalf of the entire design team and construction team, thank you for the opportunity to provide an update on the project. This project represents a significant investment in the future of Tula Rosa students and the community. The new middle school is designed to serve approximately 240 students in grades 6 through 8, and includes a new academic building, cafeteria, dedicated career technical education building, site improvements, and the eventual demolition of the existing middle school. Throughout this process, our goal has been to create a learning environment that supports student success while maintaining ongoing campus operations during construction. As we began the design process, as you'll see, we wanted the new school to reflect the unique identity of Tula Rosa. We spent time studying this community's history, culture, and landscape. The design draws inspiration from the Tula Rosa heritage, its historic character, and the acequia system that has helped shape the community for generations. These influences guided the architectural character of the campus and helped create a school that feels connected to its community rather than simply placed within it. Next slide, please. The next few images show the vision of the new campus, as you'll see in the design. So here is an overall aerial of the campus, La Luz, Wildcat Turf, and 8th Street. The design intent was to create basically a cohesive campus that would connect the high school and the middle school together, while also separating the traffic from the high school, the bus drop-off, and creating a dedicated parent drop-off for the security of the students. Next slide, please. The main facade of the school is basically at where the parent drop-off is. So we wanted to create volumes to enhance the unique character of the building, while bringing materials that were durable and durable and maintenance-free for the school. Next slide, please. Another shot of the parent drop-off with the CTE, the main gym, and then the administration area with an eyebrow that basically highlights the main entrance to direct traffic and visitors to the school. Within the site itself, there were outdoor learning spaces that were created, basically courtyards that connect the middle school to the high school, and that can be used for outdoor learning areas for the students and the teachers. Inside the school, there were several spaces that were created that are adaptable and that are flexible and adaptable, so the students, teachers can use them in the different, based on the different grades from 6 through 8. Here's an image of the cafeteria. This is, the next one is an image of the library. And within the school, there will be several features where we're gonna bring in graphics and showcase the heritage of Tula Rosa. So the basin, there's aesthetic components that mimic the acequia, so connecting the media center to the library, and again, those open spaces that allow for collaboration and learning. This is a view of the media center that's adjacent to the library, and again, that graphic on the back and the acequia feature that connects both spaces. At this time, I'll turn it over to Cody Clifton. So the vision is actually coming up really fast, and together we've been working on the construction aspect of it, and it's going really fast. So I'll turn it over to him to give us an update.
Thanks, Juan. Good evening, members of the board, I'm President and Superintendent. Montoya. So, yeah, I'm just here to give a quick update on the project. Obviously, we broke ground. Things are going really well out there. We've completed the building pad. So that got completed, and we've started the building pad and the over excavation on the CTE building. So that's all ongoing with our dirt work contractor, JGF. We have just today finished up the foundation, the perimeter foundations and the interior spot footings. We made that placement today in area A. Area I'm sorry, area B, area A was placed, last week, so half of the academic building, foundation is complete at this point. The dirt work and the concrete folks, GH Concrete, they, are continuing to build, dig foundations in area C. Get that area prepped, rebar in, anchor bolts in, so we can make that next placement. I think in about 2 weeks, we should be done with the building pad at CTE. And then our dirt work crew will, move over behind the bleachers and begin the flat work, and the new sidewalks and things, that go, and get installed behind the bleachers. Our plan and our goal is to have that up, and installed, at the end of summer. So that way, when football season starts, that parking lot and all that flat work is done. So we're working on that today. As you guys know, we hit that water line, so we're hard at it over there, but, I think we just got word that that's all been fixed and resolved, so, we'll get a valve on that and be able to control that a little better. So, it's been great working with Tularosa, like instances like this, we call on the village, they show up, we work together to get things completed, so, we're super thrilled to be here, and everything's been going great so far. As you guys can see on the screen here, our game plan is to, like I mentioned, have the, field and landscaping improvements done this summer, for school starts, or right when school is starting. We plan on opening the school fall of 2027, so we're on pace for that. I know we've just got things teased out with, abatement, for the existing school, so I think that work is fixing to ensue, so, once that gets completed, we complete the school, we'll get you guys moved out of there, and then we'll take on the demolition of that existing school.
So you're planning on having all this done by summer of 2026, the end of this?
Yeah, this is summer of 26. Sorry, that's a
Yeah.
typo there. We plan on being done with the field and the parking lot by summer of 26 to get you guys set up for.
That's what I thought you
for
were saying,
football,
but I
yeah.
was just making sure I
Yep.
understood that.
And then the school itself will be done fall of
Awesome.
27.
You guys are moving a lot of dirt over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to haul in a lot of dirt. The dirt that was there was unsuitable for fill, so been having to over-X and remove that dirt and then bring in structural fill to build that pad up. There's quite a bit on this west side that you guys can see over there. We built it up pretty high, so.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
I have just a couple of questions concerning, first of all, the parking lot behind the bleachers.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea off the top of your head how many parking spots that is? It's gonna be, I know we lose a lot because of the soon-to-be school that's gonna be placed there.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's more than that you have now, because it's gonna be developed all the way up to the ponding area.
Okay,
That was a bid lot that was accepted, which we were really happy about. And then we created an accessible route that connects the visitor parking. So if you don't mind going back, 4 slides, 2 more. So we created an accessible path so that the visitor parking and then this overflow parking, can be connected, and then it'll lead up to the football stadium.
also, and I don't know if you know off the top of your head, I've heard in the past that there were plans when this behind the existing bleachers. When that gets blacktop, that they were going to do what is in front of the concession stand and the bathrooms as well. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard anything about that?
Not yet.
There you go. Okay,
So the ponding area is here. And then, so all this will get the asphalt. This is ponding for the, storm drain water.
Everything that comes off of the school hits a storm drain right by CTE and academics, and it goes and relays out. Oh, you say that again?
All work is pretty much on this side of the fence. Nothing, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, so nothing in the field area or nothing in your concession stand area currently.
And that's blacktop, or is that gonna be just chip seal?
No, it's blacktop.
Oh,
And then we have, concrete with curbs and sidewalks, so it'll all be accessible.
Professional.
There's construction photos that is what recent, and you'll see more of what from those aerials that cause it's basically all this, we're gonna have to drain into
Into that
into that
existing,
pond,
right,
and so the infrastructure to it is pretty heavy.
We actually do have some construction photos if you wanna scroll to the. Maybe about 17, 18, somewhere in there. Oh, right there. So this is area A that got placed out last week. This photo's a few days old, so this got placed out last week. This is the foundation and the perimeter footings that got placed today. So we are up to this point with foundations. This is area C headed back towards CTE in the football field. If you wanna go to the next slide. There's a little bit of the dirt work that's occurring that's finished up now in area D where the gym is laid out. And then up here is CTE right at the top of the page here. That's where we began our over-X just today, so.
So the play field is here, that storm pond is
I
north.
think we have a picture of it
Yeah.
in here actually, so. Yeah, so here's where we started. This is the pond over here. It daylights into this pond and our storm drain will run all the way up here. It'll take a little jog and then head up. Back
head
towards,
south to that big south pond.
at north. This is the south, this is the pond.
Oh,
And then
that's,
this is headed north back towards the building. And then the football field is right here. If you wanna go to the next one, I think we're gonna have to. That's just a look towards the north, look towards the east. We can keep going and just.
There's a cool aerial that shows the entire site. So this one,
So yeah, this right here, as you can see, here's the pond down here. Here's where we've begun installing the storm drain. And have continued on. This is, a lot of this pipe is in the ground now, and I think those guys are about right here. This is about right here where they hit that pipe today, so that's where we're at.
one more, you get a set of stick man.
I know. I know, so anyways, there's a look at it, so I think maybe one more slide of pictures. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
you have two. You can see what, one previous, this is how hefty, you see that
Oh, yeah.
that storm drain that comes from the school all the way to the south.
Yeah, this was about 20 foot deep over here where we put that pipe. And then we come uphill from there and it'll tie into the site work over here, I'm sorry, somewhere. And then all that drainage from those rooftops and everything will hit this storm drain and daylight into your pond.
And the perimeter fence around the existing school, that's basically what delineates our project site. And then anything inside was considered above animals.
Cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I thank you guys so much for coming and taking the time to present, because they asked me questions and, I know nothing, I'm like, they're moving stuff out there.
Yeah, and if you guys wanna set up a job site tour or something, I would suggest maybe we get a little further along and then you guys can head down there. Take a look.
Appreciate that.
If you guys want us to come back.
Yeah, right now you don't see a lot because it's only like they're adjusting, leveling the site. But once it starts going up, it's gonna go up fast.
And we should begin our, we plan to have our slabs on that north half, done by early August. Structural steel will be here middle of July, so that will all be going on about
No
that.
hiccups anticipated with the materials or anything like that?
Not currently. I think everything's tracking good. We've got our storm drain, manholes, structural steels on its way. Yeah, everything's hitting so far, so.
We want to thank Ms. Montoya and then everyone in from Tula Rosa for all your support. We meet every week. So every Wednesday we meet. Cody leads the meetings. Basically, we go through an agenda of old items, new items, submittals, RFIs, ASIs, And then anything pending so that we can stay ahead of the project. But again, every week, once is virtual, once it's in person. And it's been a great experience. So again, thank you for your support.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you.
You have a good evening, and just take a little moment, we have another visitor, Mr. Gallos brought his son with him, so I wanted to acknowledge, because he got all dressed up to come watch his dad present, and I think that is amazing, so I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge him.
Thank you for coming, Alex.
Right. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Alright, next we have, public comment.
Check.
I like.
Alright, next, no public comment, so we have, superintendent's report.
Madam President, members of the board, if you don't mind, due to the length of tonight's agenda and the two presentations we've had, I'm going to keep it very brief. You just got construction update. We continue to process new hire paperwork, about our end of year books and working towards, meeting the students in August when they return, all refreshed, building refreshed, teachers refreshed, everybody refreshed. Me not so much maybe, but then everybody else will be refreshed. I'll have a more in-depth report next month, but right now it's just summer business as usual, for the time being.
Board communications. Next is, recognitions of students and staff. Just a shout out to, Tulsa High School state champion Olivia Young. She brought home the grade title for the state track meet, for her discus throw of 183 inches. So, congratulations to her. Yes. She's gonna be a junior. She'll be a junior?
I do have to say on that note too, is that her and Aiden Patamio were picked to go to like represent New Mexico in track and field for discus.
Yeah. They
They
both went for
were
this.
throwing at this weekend, so that's something that I know for the last 5 years that we've never done, so.
Very cool. And that was like with different states, correct? That's pretty cool. I did see that.
Yeah.
All right, so, moving on to 3.2, consideration of minutes from the regular meeting with the executive session May 4th, 2026, and special meeting May 27th, 2026.
Madam President, I would like to move to consider and approve the minutes for the regular meeting with executive session May 4th, 2026, as well as the special meeting May 27th, 2026.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to consider the minutes for the regular meeting, with executive session May 4th, 2026, and special meeting May 7th, 2026. All those in favor say aye, those opposed no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alright, consideration of check register May 2026.
Members of the board, Madam President, I have Miss Marissa Plumker here to start any questions you might have regarding the check register.
Yeah,
No, I actually don't this time. Yeah.
No, like I do. Just, if that was for whenever the, when was responsible. And then just the third one was that. On page 27. Please. 27.
Page 27 for Johnson Controls.
I'm trying to get at it.
Yeah, that was when
I'm
the,
trying to get an idea of things in Johnson Controls, what happened. Yeah, with the,
What is on warranty, what is not, or
yeah, when it froze and stuff, so that's when it froze. The frozen coils,
that was the replacement, yeah.
when it froze,
Mhm.
and then. On page 41. Was whenever it flooded, correct?
So we had, coils that flooded over the office, but the other coils that burst, I don't think were due, because we had two sets of
Yeah, two
coils.
different times, huh?
Yeah,
That's what I
so
thought.
there was the one, and literally they were kind of days
Yeah.
apart. But I don't believe the ones that, burst were due to freezing in the,
In the office, correct?
no, in the hallway, the science room. I believe
just
that
like a
was,
weird-
it was due to some leak that, caused deterioration in something, and the coils ended up bursting and needing to be replaced.
And then page 43 from them, that's like the school year fee they charge.
You do have a preventative maintenance agreement with them, I
That's
believe.
the agreement.
Contract.
Right.
That
Contract
contract.
agreement, yeah.
So they are supposed to provide preventative maintenance monitoring of the, high school HVAC. They're the only, that's the only system they monitor, I guess. Internally, we monitor all the other three schools, but, according to Andy, because I asked him about it, I was like, why are we just having one contract? And it was because of the coil system it has, that Johnson Control has to maintain that. He doesn't maintain, he doesn't maintain that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's supposed to be.
So like, like their job entails like, it's like being a technician, they need to like check it.
PMs, all of that is involved in that.
So,
I was just curious.
yeah, it is, it's a
Part of the
preventative
contract.
maintenance agreement, yes, it is part of their contract. I'm not intimately familiar with how often they come. I would assume it'd be quarterly, but I could be wrong about going and inspecting the system, checking for issues. Their contract, like I said, is a 3-year contract. It is expiring now at the end of August, and Ms. Clunker and I just, talked this afternoon about going to RFQ for a new contract, and so she's gonna be preparing that one, so that when this one lapses, we have some other considerations for that contract. I wanna
And that
say
is
that
3
the, maintenance contract is between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. With Johnson Controls, that's what we pay
Just
just
of what
for
that all entails.
And they
recently.
before the coil.
I could not tell you. I know that they are in that building frequently. Ms. Hill sees them all the time. Johnson Controls. I don't understand why that system is so hard. I know nothing about HVAC. I can't speak to it, but I know that they've had considerable issues with the bursting pipes, with, lack of heat or cool, air in specific rooms. It's been a constant battle and stuff, so I'm really happy that this contract is expiring and.
I'm just curious, like, it's only the.
I agree.
The next one, I'd like to see what that's. Sort of more sad.
Okay.
Oh, and I will also say that we just had, some cleanup of that room from that leak, so we're gonna be seeing those costs, from drying it out, removing, the mold that was.
And that is
in.
not covered by
Did,
insurance.
have they gotten into their office building yet?
Yes, I believe they are, Ms. Hill, are you guys back into the admissions, or I'm sorry, the attendance side, student, guidance counseling side of your building?
Yes, we just have to move on back.
Or you also you guys got?
I think we were, yes, they have access, we were waiting on furniture, right? And I believe that the new drywall and everything should be up in the other science rooms. They removed from the science closet as well as the classroom. And they're repainting and everything. So they've done a complete removal, dry out, everything of,
And the mold you found? Or they found?
there was lots.
Yeah.
Every color,
We call it.
Removal.
but it's removed and treated now.
Good, that's good.
Okay,
Or, oh my God, we don't know about mold or filter.
right.
Mhm.
Do we have any more questions?
We got that one, you know, just curious about how.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Right, there's been a motion, a second, to approve the check register for being 2026, all in favor, say aye, those opposed, say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion. Consideration of stipends.
Madam President, members of the board, these stipends, I'm sorry, I don't remember what this was. Quite off the top of my head, and I can't see that far. I want to say that it's, letters,
Summer planning.
summer reading program, I think they're all detailed, I'm sorry, I can't read that far.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what they.
So I thought we approved some of these last time.
So you did, but some of the totals were off.
Incorrect.
And so they had to, adjust them and cut, the correcting checks and stuff, so they need to come to you for that approval. So yes, these were approved last month, but the totals were not correct, and so we had to come back with the difference.
You guys have any questions? Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the revised.
I'll say, no, go ahead.
Sorry.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the stipend, all those in favor, say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Sorry, I was writing in that.
Three, five, consideration of budget or approval for fiscal year 26, 27.
Madam President, members of the board, I have Ms. Clumper here, and would you mind providing the new members of the board a brief description of this, bar approval and why we use it?
So, we're required to bring all of the bars to you all for approval before they're entered into the system. It's a fairly common practice in the state to go ahead and get blanket approval with the bars for the fiscal year that's upcoming, and then we bring them to you for later approval and questions. And then if something isn't approved, we go back and fix it. It helps to ensure that we can do transfers, maintenance bars, initial budget increases at the time they happen. So the books stay cleaner and we're not a month behind. Yeah. It's just helpful. And you do still see them and approve them. It's just at a later date.
On a monthly, right?
Yeah, and it's the board meeting following when they're approved by P. If they require approval, not all bars do,
Right.
but then you just see the next board meeting, and you see all of them. Any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve my two bar approval for full year 26-27.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second for the budget bar for school year 26, 27. All those in favor, say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Consideration of operational budgets.
Madam President and members of the board, you were provided, I believe, screenshots of the budget and OBMS as it's been, uploaded. I did ask Ms. Clumper to include an additional spreadsheet that was not just numbers so that you could see what the line items were for and what those corresponded with. So, it just matches what's in OBMS. It's just putting actual titles to the numbers. the line item numbers.
You can see everything rolled up by function and then by object, which are the main, they give you the most information about where the money's at.
And this is the approved
This is,
by Pete, right?
this is, yeah, what is entered into OBMS at this point and has been approved so far.
Office of Business, what is OBMS?
Oh, no, it's, operating budget. Yeah, some management system, something like that.
Operating budget management system.
And it is a dinosaur, so. Operating budget summary.
Summary.
Yeah. You guys have any questions?
I do not.
So I'll make a motion. To approve the operational budget for school year 26-27.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the operational budget for school year 26-27. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Motion passed. Moving on to 3.9. Consideration of fixed assets inventory.
Madam President, members of the board, Tularosa Schools employs a third-party company who comes in and does an inventory of our fixed assets annually. It's on a digital platform. They come in, they scan all of the barcodes and stuff. So this is that report. Ms. Plumper, did you have anything you needed to add, or Mr. Buduska? Yeah. In case you had any questions, because you guys know more how it runs than I do.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When something is, say, end of life, and it's pushed out or replaced, what is the standard procedure for that happening? It's taken off of this list and the new one is put on. Do we have a yearly list of what is gone out, gotten rid of, sold?
We can produce a report,
You
we,
could,
yeah, it just
okay,
depends on kind of what the item is too.
or the amount, or how costly the item
Yeah,
would be, right?
yeah.
Okay. And it came to mind because I'm doing that on my regular job and I started thinking, there's not as many items that we have here that we go through as often, however, when there's certain things that are on here that are a bit costly, that comes to mind. So I just wanted to make sure that we do have a place that we can find that list.
Yeah, most of
If
the
that would come into
time,
question.
like for my stuff, it's usually like, you know, consumables like printers that are eventually gonna go down,
Right,
laptops.
because those technically go out of life rather quick.
Yeah, I average about 5 years on any device because that's about the time that it's either end of life or the software is no longer updatable for them to use anymore.
So where does
But
that
if we-
go when you're done with stuff?
Everything gets stored in my portables here, and then we wait on everything for at least about a year before we even try to dispose, because most of the time they're not worth selling anymore. But just to make sure that there's no data or anything on there, and then I send them off usually to a company in, shoot, I can't remember where it's at, in North Carolina. And they will break it down, recycle it, and then they pull the hard drives and destroy everything and then send me a certificate back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was my second question.
Well, you guys have any more questions or anything? I'll make a motion to approve the fixed asset inventory list.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the fixed assets inventory list. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Alright,
Aye.
Motion passes. Alright, within consideration of open meetings resolution and notice.
You need a motion.
I have no questions on that.
I don't either.
That's standard procedure.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion. If no one has any questions concerning.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the open meetings resolution and notice. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion. Ours board report in the cafeteria update.
Members of the board, Madam President, I have Ms. Plunker, here to stand for any questions you might have with regards to the bar log, board financial reports, and, the summer food program update was also provided in there from Mr. Bettenker, our cafeteria manager. So those numbers, it looks like they're doing really well
Right.
on food distribution and, definitely helping to get some numbers through the summer reading program that's going on at TIS. So that's been a tremendous help with this and keeping those numbers going.
Is that like a breakfast and lunch combined thing
Yeah.
that they're doing this
We
year,
have,
right?
we offer breakfast for the students, I mean, and then they get lunch as well.
Okay,
And everybody else is just getting that.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Start doing this one. I have a question.
That'll be nice.
Keep the words out. So it helps out. Huh?
High school and the elementary.
I don't know, do you wanna click on the summer food program application, then see if it's a
I believe those are breakfast servers, maybe, I can't see.
Lunch.
Was it lunch, never mind.
TES and TES.
Okay, you guys can read, I won't read it. Yeah.
Zoom in a lot.
Can you bring it closer?
And then go down that, more is this next to the last month's.
Really good.
Yeah, I think definitely works out. Turkey hoagie.
Please serve at me.
So on Thursdays, they get a lunch
Thursdays,
and
they
a
get a lunch and
lunch.
that lunch. And
And
so
so
for
for
Friday.
Friday.
That's cool.
Good.
We did have a question about this, summer program, food program. Cause I was just thinking about it's community lunch and the whole Sunbucks thing. Is our school considered one of those where every kid in our district should we still be getting that?
I don't know. what's-
We are CEP eligible and a national school lunch program. So I have seen some of the letters going out and some of
I
the,
was just hoping that-
I know that there are cards going out to families as well.
How does that work? Like, does someone have to enroll all the kids? in-
When I do, or when me and Lenora do Nova and report up, we report up students and who qualifies under. And so it pulls that, but since every student in the school district is CEP, most of our students get are qualified.
Didn't have to go and do it themselves, so,
Yeah.
cause some people don't know.
Yeah, so we
Right.
don't know, and I was hoping with some people who do this, in there. Cool. I didn't know how that worked. Playground at the intermediate school. I was actually the one that, after the that on, I just, the stuff that's coming up. I feel like,
We've rehashed that.
yeah, we've talked about this before.
Are you talking about that black notice?
Yes. It's just whirlwind there. I don't know. Well, and I do notice that the grass is coming through a lot over there. Like,
Through the committee?
not necessarily where it's, you know, where the actual playground is, where the wood chips in there, but like on the outside. Where there's, you know, wood chips still go over,
Mhm.
but where the main, there's just a grass growing right there. I don't
Yeah, no,
know.
the
I
playground
just
at the
know
intermediate is going to be a lot of work.
When I spoke with Andy about it, he did say that the slide also, he has to look at that, getting it replaced because it's cracked,
Or is it?
The big slide,
I think.
it cuts them when they go
Yeah.
down. Like,
So
they
he
should
was
take
gonna
it
look
down.
into that.
So,
So, and that was another reason I left it on here.
Oh, good.
Because I know he had said that they just put the shavings down,
The wood chips.
wood chips, yeah,
Yeah, the big
not
slide is.
a couple months ago or
is
something like
bad.
that.
I just know that stuff is just like coming up and it's just.
Dripping past
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
Skid's here.
I just don't know how it's so. Like, there's something been in it so long.
Yeah.
And I just put the foot out.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And I have nothing with it.
Like,
Probably just gonna fall apart.
it's just.
Yeah. You have to go over with the new stuff.
But we've had new stuff delivered last year, I wanna
We
say, and they
just-
just did it, refreshed all of the shadings.
I was gonna say, there's a pile out there.
Mhm.
That's what they probably.
I don't think that.
Yeah, they just did.
Is not available to the covered, like it's just.
Ripped out.
like,
Right.
We'll have to just go do like, look at it,
I agree.
We'll get some kind of a plan.
yeah, cause it's just not.
Should,
Right, it's been the
I think-
bane of everybody's existence for quite a while, I'm not sure why, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we could set it, and still check it out. I don't know. I didn't know that much, I feel that's huge.
At the very bottom, mainly when you go back, but you know, the kids.
Yeah. it was- No, okay.
If I could request, you cannot do anything until program is done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
They probably shouldn't be using that slide though.
The big one or the one
The
that's
big
attached
slide.
to everything?
The big slide, the big one over.
The big steel one, they don't, use that one, they just, the kids are mostly over here. But we just try to stay off the preschool playground, because they have a lot of things out there, but they do use this tab, and then we do sometimes, depending on how hot it is, they'll do like indoor recess in the gym, but they do go outside. We try to get them outside at least 10-15 minutes to get some sun during program.
Yeah.
No, no,
Not the, no.
no, you're thinking of that one. No.
I wish I
I know
could.
she's thinking of one of those right now.
The one that can't burn us.
Yeah.
I know.
That one was so scary.
We took out a shot, I got back, I'm like, I think we're like 30 feet. This was pretty bad.
Almost got caught in line.
When Rayleigh gets up there, it's like, of course, it's got the fence, but I mean, it wouldn't be nothing for her to just like bail off. No, but the one when we were all in school, there was
Oh,
no
yeah,
chip.
once at the park.
Everything's
same
dead
way.
drops.
Ours are-
They'll put on your apartment, your helmet, so you know.
Discussion of raising the meal allowance for out-of-town student travel.
Madam President and members of the board, I think this is kind of self-explanatory, but currently the rate we pay for per student meal is $12.50. Is that correct? $12.50. And I'm sure many of you guys have eaten out recently and probably treated your children, and it's very difficult to feed anybody on $12.50 nowadays.
School kids eat a lot.
And so, I would like the board to consider, upping the amount we pay. Initially, we talked about $15, and then even that is kind of
It's borderline.
exactly. So I don't have a magic number to throw at you. I mean,
Some other schools are doing around 18.
I know.
Okay.
The schools up north are doing close to.
so I wanted to open it up for discussion, and then we can bring it back for consideration to give us time
Yes,
to think about it. And, but I wanted to be honest in that we initially were gonna come with a $15 price tag, and we're
I mean,
finding that that's not
You
even
can't even go to
adequate.
McDonald's for $20 is like what it would cost.
You're feeding, a lot of times you're feeding athletes, and these kids are. I got one.
My son gets 2 of those fish fillets and a large fry, you know, that's $20.
So I just wanted to bring this forward to begin the discussion.
Thank you, yes. Absolutely.
Is there any way that I can say something?
Yes, of course.
So like, we have at the high school, a lot of kids that do, out of state travel. And so like, I know like Chase takes his kids to Indianapolis and they can't even touch a meal under $20. And so even opening up an option of like allowing the CTSO to like dictate, like if they're paying for the meal, like allowing them to dictate what they're allowed to spend on it, or I just in Indianapolis, and I know we've had some kids go to English Expo and leadership conferences, and like with our CTSO expanding, those big cities, like I know I've been to Seattle twice, and there's no way $20 was going to even touch what I was eating, and I eat like a bird, and so just if we're considering like, I know like it might have to be flat across the board, but if we're sending kids to these out of state travel, like maybe also considering like out of state travel be a little bit more because it's just, it's not even feasible on that one. I know like as a employee, we get $70 a day. And when you're going to like a place like Seattle, like Shelley and I were like, we're saving our one meal for $70 because it's just so expensive.
Is there a way to do that? Like you can set in state like $20?
Yeah,
Out of
absolutely.
state.
So you, like, out of state travel, you could have, I mean, they would need it for.
A multitude of things.
Yeah, like-
Yeah.
They would need it for a
Oh,
lot.
Yes,
Yeah, some
Right.
hotels don't give breakfast, they're actually for-
Yeah.
So you would have to set it for that.
So yeah, you can in state and out of state rate.
Absolutely.
High schoolers love McDonald's, but I mean, they start complaining after a while.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And that's one of the cheaper places, when the kids go up to state and they're eating at a place where you can sit down and have a meal,
Yeah.
it's no better, you know, so. And I'd rather kids eat a good meal than stop at McDonald's every single time they go somewhere. you know?
Trash.
I think probably pizza's the only thing that's affordable.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. You can still get a pizza for
Yeah,
ten,
it's nice
$12.
for them to be able to, if they're going to state, for them to be able to have
Right.
something nice while they're up there.
Yeah,
They accomplished.
exactly. And they've earned
Yeah,
that.
they've earned,
Right,
yeah, exactly.
yes, we definitely look at that
Yeah.
in the future.
No.
It's just discussion. We'll bring it forward for action next.
Right, so setting of the next regular session, July 8th, 2026 at 6. Yeah. That's for everyone.
Yes, no.
Great, and now, yeah.
I think that they, it's been weird for me.
Okay. Okay, consideration of meeting in an executive session for the purpose of limited personal matters and related personal matters pertaining to the superintendent's contract.
I'll make a motion to convene into executive session for the purpose of limited personnel matters pertaining to superintendent's contract.
I second that.
There's been a motion and seconds of the meeting to an executive session for the purpose of limited personal matters and limited personal matters pertaining to superintendent's contract. A roll call vote must be made.
A roll call vote has been called for the purpose of convening into an executive session for the purpose of limited personnel matters and limited personnel matters pertaining to the superintendent's contract. When I call your name, please answer I meaning yes, nay meaning no. Megan Cairns. Just, no, just joking. Gilbert Gaston, Stephanie Teo.
Aye.
Casey O'Tara.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you guys for coming.
Consideration of reconvening into open session.
I'll make a motion to reconvene into open session.
There's been a motion and a second to reconvene into session, or roll call vote must be made.
A roll call vote has been called for the purpose of verifying that only discussion of the purpose of limited personnel matters and limited personnel matters pertaining to the superintendent's contract. When I call your name, please answer I meaning yes, nay meaning no to this motion. Megan Cares,
Aye.
Gilbert Gaston,
Aye.
Stephanie Tejas,
Aye.
Casey Otero.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, consideration of the superintendent's contract. All right, so. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to consider the superintendent's contract as laid out. Megan.
All right, there has been a motion and a second to approve the 3-year contract with the 26-27 school year starting at $160,000 with a 3% increase annually for the remaining 2 years. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion concerned.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
There has been a motion and a second to continue. All those in favor say aye, those opposed, no.